Hello and welcome to the reading from Agastya Valipadu from the book Agastya, Purpose of Life. Today's topic is God Never Forsakes You. Go ahead, Sister Sumati.
Thank you. Om Agasteshwaraya Namaha. When our prayers are not answered, how often do we condemn God? This is his advice. Sage Agastya. It is only when one suffers that anger wells up from within. It is only then that we can understand how much determination one has. It is best to accept little disturbances, but do not examine and debate on them. As the inner strength wanes, questions will increase. The result is that one who drowns in these questions is subject to suffering. Whatever happens will happen. Things will come to fruition.
Yeah, this topic we had already, Dr. Sudhamani had read last week, and we have already discussed that. So we'll go to the next chapter, which is God Never Forsakes You.
At a time when a devotee had lost faith, Sage Agastya said, once a person bows to a god or a guru and surrenders to them, from that moment he has the support of God and guru always. There is no rule that God's grace on a devotee must be shown often. There is a time for a devotee to pray, to call out to God, or to ask for a boon.
So this is a very small paragraph, actually. It's not a chapter. The reason I haven't included the rest of the discourse that was given that day is because it was extremely personal to that particular person and cannot be revealed publicly. But I just took out only the few points that is relevant to all of us. Even though it's a very short paragraph, there is a lot we can learn from this. What had happened was the devotee had lost faith in Agastya. And how many times, or in God, how many times don't we all go through that phase? God, like if you think about it, we have Christ who was on the cross, being crucified in pain. He was the Son of God. And he says, and he realized, Master, at that moment, because Maya can be that strong, he says, God, have you forsaken me? The same words, and that it is not because he felt that, but it is because he was demonstrating the power of Maya or illusion in this world, which we are all subject to. Even the greatest of the great, who is incarnate in the human body in creation, are always subject to Maya, because Maya is extremely powerful. So as spiritual aspirants, as we go forward in our daily sadhana, there are times when we go through a lot of suffering. We don't feel the connection with God. Even I have gone through many times when I used to get a lot of beautiful experiences and dreams and all that, and suddenly nothing at all for months and months and months. Even though I would continue to try to do my prayers and meditation. But one thing I always realized, and one thing that we always must remember, is that once a God or Guru comes into your life, they will never forsake you, because the relationship between a disciple or a devotee and a God and Guru does not just happen, like it cannot be compared to any human relationship. It continues through different lives until the devotee reaches the stage where he can also merge with the absolute. But that connection is extremely strong. So when they say, if you have a guru in one life, if somebody has accepted you as a guru in one life, that is the same guru who will continue through all your future lives. So what happens to somebody like me? I'm the disciple of Paramahamsa Yogananda. When I became Yogananda's guru, he was no longer in the body, but that did not matter, because I heard his voice. I felt his presence. So a guru need not be in a physical body for us to experience or be taught or guided by them. So that is how strong a relationship between a devotee or a disciple and guru is. So we must always remember, no matter what, if we feel that God is or Guru is not in our lives at that moment, the only problem is the communication or the radio connection between us. Our system is faulty, not theirs. They never forsake us. No matter what kind of, once we become a disciple, owing to a human tendency, even if we make a major mistake, they will still be there with us. They will not forsake us. They'll keep trying to help us. So we must always remember that no matter what happens, God and Guru is always with us. Then he says, one of the things that he says is, once is surrender to them. So that's more important. So surrender is when you say, I am nothing, you take care of me. What I do, what I think, how I live is all in your hands. If we can do that, if we can go complete surrender to God, then God will always there be with us. And Guru, God or Guru, or both. Now he says, there is also no rule that a God's grace on a devotee must be shown often. And that is what we expect. Once we have experienced some kind of grace, we want it more and more and more. We want it to be shown always. There is no rule like that. Papa says, once in a while, they'll make their presence known to you. Once in a while, you will feel their grace, but it need not be continuous. Not because they are not aware of us all the time, it's because we cannot be aware of them all the time. Because our radio connection is always not connected to them. Until we reach that stage where we can always be connected to them, then we can live in that bliss. But until then, it will be once in a while. So never, never lose faith. Now, if anybody else wants to add anything to this, you're welcome to add before we go on to the next one. Dr. Sudhamani, Sister Sumati, Brother Tharumarasan, any thoughts?
Oh, something. When we are not feeling the God, that means He wants us to learn something from what is happening in our life.
I know.
Until we learn that, He will not interfere. He wants us to learn that. That's why He's not immediately responding.
That is correct. There is always another opportunity at that time when we are not feeling the presence of God and Guru to look back and see where we need to correct ourselves, what we need to learn. That's a very good point. Thank you, brother. Brother Ramachandran, Siddharth, Veena, Sai Prasad, Praveen, any thoughts? Ramesh, Damani? Okay, we'll continue then. Sister Sumati?
Yeah, regular prayer. Sage Agastya knew the real reason a devotee came to him one day, even though the devotee did not articulate it. Personal references have been removed. This message is shared in its entirety along with the section of regular worship to benefit those who may be in similar situations.
Now, here it's a very important thing that we can learn from this particular paragraph. A lot of people approached Gajraj Swamigal, and he did not know the background of many of them because they were, pretty new in that particular instance, and he had not met them before. Usually what happens when you go for a Nadi reading is, or even to an astrologer, they ask you certain things, your date of birth, your thumb impression, your name, etc. But when Agastya is speaking directly through a person, and this is the mark of the genuine person, then there is no need for any introductions because Appa already knows everything about that person. So in this particular instance, what happened was, even though Gajraj Swamigal knew nothing about the person, Agastya, and the person did not even tell why he had come. He just said he had come to just pray. But Agastya already knew why he had come. And he actually gave a brief background of that person, which you'll be reading now, explaining certain things about him. which is impossible for any human being to do. Unless we know somebody, unless we have some reference work, we cannot talk about somebody's background and explain why something happened in their life. And that is the beauty of Appa directly talking through somebody. He already knows everything. Nothing needs to be explained. No questions need to be asked. So he had asked, he had come, but Appa never gave, guidance unless it was sought. So it is basically a question of a person just coming there and Appa responding to them. Now, Brother Sai Prasad has been asking whether the audio is clear because he's not able to hear. Are you all able to hear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now let us continue. So in this particular situation, that is what happened. The person did not know, did not ask anything, but he had the question in his heart, and Appa was responding to that. Go ahead, sister.
Sage Agastya, my son, you who have a childlike heart, while it may seem like you have come for Devi's darshan here today, you and your family have come with an inner desire that I, your Guru, will show you a way, isn't it? The words of knowledge that I give through my son, Gajraj Swamigal here, unraveling the troubles and giving guidance, these are important tasks I am accomplishing here. The place where you were born was a place inhabited by people with a merciless nature. Even though you have the love of your mother and you had a father, all that these two gave you was only a place to live in.
So here he starts with, he's first now, right now, talking about the childlike nature of the person. So when a stranger comes to you, you don't know their nature, but Appa already knew that. And then he says, I am your guru. So he knows that he's the guru of the person who has come, even though the person who came that day hadn't yet realized that Agastya himself is his guru. So, that happens many times. Even with Gajraj Swamigal, the same thing happened. Even though the statue came into his life 30 years before he heard Appa Agastya's voice, and people told him, a Ramakrishna Ashram monk told him, this is your guru. He did not realize that Appa Agastya was his guru. It was like, that's an ancient sage. How can he be my guru? But the guru. So that brings us back to the whole idea that the guru never loses sight of us. The guru knows who his disciples are, even through all the different lives that we take. And then he says, so you came with a desire that I should show you a way. So many people, when they approach gods and gurus, or people who are able to guide them, they come there thinking, hey, I need to know what to do. I'm facing this problem. I'm not able to resolve it. So Appa Agastya, without being asked, is telling him that. Then he says, here I'm unraveling the troubles and giving guidance. These are important tasks that I'm accomplishing here. So at the time when he said that, we didn't realize the magnitude of what Appa Agastya is doing. When you're in a situation where things are happening, you're wondering, you really don't understand what the future implications are. But today, as I see how Valipadu is reaching people worldwide, whether it's Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea, it's all over the world. And people respond saying, oh my God, this has touched my life. This is Appa Agastya talking directly to me. We have Brother Pedro saying, this is pure gold. Such a profound words cannot come from a human being. And it cannot, because it was Appa Agastya who was speaking. And he knew what he was doing. He was giving the Valipadu for the welfare of the world, for his devotees. And that is what he's saying in this particular sentence. And then he says, then he starts talking about the person. So talking about the background of the person, the family that he came from. And he says, even though you had your mother and father, even though they loved you, the only thing that they gave you was a place to live in. So let us look back at how many of us have children, but have not given them the guidance, the light, the nurturing that children need. And that is why it is so important that family unit this becomes very stable in this particular situation in the world before the changes can happen worldwide. Because children are the future of the world. And parents are the most important factors in nurturing the future citizens of the world. And that is what Appa is saying here indirectly, that this person did not have anything other than, just materials and a home to live in. And that is what most parents in this current modern world are guilty of, because they're so busy trying to, both parents working because they have to pay all the bills and trying to, buy a bigger car and a bigger home. They are more concerned about acquiring material wealth, about making sure that those things are taken care of, that they forget the most important thing which is in their life, and that is the child. The child needs to be nurtured. A child is a responsibility given by God to each one of us, so that we can guide them, we can nurture them, we can give them such a stable foundation that when they grow up, they are ideal citizens of the world, that they follow the cycle and they bring more such responsible adults into the world. Go ahead, sister.
It was not a place where you were given knowledge or the light of knowledge or good behavior. There was no affection. There was only pity when people saw you. Your dreams of a career that you set out to accomplish changed to a different line of work. Your body and mind were also shaken by the mind owing to your karma.
So that happens to a lot of us. So here Appa is saying, where you were there in that house, the place that you were born, you were not given any knowledge. You were not taught right behavior. And a lot of parents in this current world do not do that. They quickly give a phone to the child. They turn on the TV so that the child can watch something. And how many times do we see the child throwing tantrums, child dictating what it wants? A child does not know. We as adults, we must nurture them. We must guide them. We must show them what is good, what is wrong. If they do not have the power of discrimination or thought how to discriminate between good and wrong, they are going to become, bad examples as an adult. They're not going to be able to live properly in society. They're not going to be able to contribute to society. And that's what Appa is saying. He says, you did not get any affection. And when people saw you, the state you were in, people only felt pity for you. And as this person grew up and he got into a career, even though he had studied something, the work that he was doing was something else. And that happens to a lot of us. We are, skilled in something, but we don't get the opportunity. We work somewhere else. We are not fully satisfied. And then he says, and even during that period, you were also, because of your own karmic, things, you became, did wrong things. And he says your mind and body were shaken. So he basically talks about he did some wrong things. Go ahead, sister.
In such a situation, if you had gotten more money and material than you had needed, think of what would have become of you. All the money and material would have slipped from your hands within 10 days and reached outsiders and family. It was because of this that even little unnecessary bad characters that were in you were removed.
So Appa here is saying, think about this. Gajal Swamigal does not know the background of this person, but he is already now, Appa Agastya, speaking through Gajal Swamigal, is still talking to him about the place he lived in, how his parents were, that he has a job that he was not, he had not thought of getting. And he's also referring to some bad things that he has done. And then now he's talking about how he, when he's saying, if you had gotten more money and material than you had needed at that time, where he's indirectly saying that this man had wanted money and material, but for some reason did not get it. The reason was, if he had received money and material at that time, when his body and mind were not in his control, he would have lost everything. So what we are learning from this is, sometimes when things don't go the way they were meant to be, It's for a reason. It's for our own good. So if that person, when he was not able to discriminate, when he was doing bad things, if he had received money and material, then he would have lost everything. And that Appa's very beautifully explaining to a person that nobody had known before. Go ahead, sister.
Understand whether this was good or bad. You have the opportunity to water the two plants that are like lights in your house and help them grow into a big tree that gives flowers. This is for the good. I know that you bow to your parents often, and then bowing to me with folded hands, you ask me every day what other path you may have.
Beautiful. So again, let us see. He says that as it was because of this that even the little unnecessary bad characters that were in you were removed. This is in the previous paragraph that I forgot to mention that Sister Sumati read. And he says, because of the fact that he did not have money and materials at the time and he had to struggle, he underwent the atonement for his karma. And because of that, he also learned discrimination because of the karmic effects. He understood what was going on with him and what he needed to change, and he changed his character. And sometimes suffering comes, or many times suffering comes because of a karma. And when we learn why that suffering has come, and if we don't blame anybody else, but understand that we have to look at what is going on within us, and we can then change ourselves. And that is what happened with this person. Then he says, whether this was good or bad, you have the opportunity to water the two plants that are like lights in your house. Now, Appa is now referring to his two children. And that is another thing that is coming out about the person. And then he tells him, then nurture them and make them into beautiful trees that can give flowers. That means an adult who is very beneficial to the society around him. And then he says, you're often bow to your parents and then ask me, saying, show me a path. How many of us have done that? Appa, show me what to do. And when we do that, when we say that internally, when our heart calls out to them, they know that, they hear us, and they will guide us. A time will come when our karmic results have been, we have undergone the suffering and atoned for it. Time will come when we make room for guidance to come through. And that is what Appa is saying. Go ahead.
All that has happened in your life so far has been for the good. You must have patience. Yet, it is true that you need gruel for the stomach and money and materials to help nurture your two children.
So here, I want to say, all that has happened in your life has been for the good. So that's a nice thing. So we must always consider that no matter what kind of things that have happened, good or bad, it's all for our growth. Because remember, we are here to experience and understand, express and understand and gain knowledge as human beings. So everything good or bad that happens to us teaches us something. Then he says, you must have patience, Father. See, that is one beautiful thing that we learn in Agastya Valipadu. This great sage is addressing a young man as father. He did that with anybody who approached him. He addressed them as father or mother. And people have asked me, why did it seems very uncomfortable. No, we must learn from such a great sage. That is the kind of respect we must have for another soul. So in just that one sentence, you must have patience, Father, when he addresses that, that is what we learn, that no matter who the person is, who's with us, we must respect them. Then he goes to practical things, which is, you need money to help and nurture your children. So go ahead, sister.
You let the work that you got slip from your hands. Yet, even this is for your own good. Wait, son, work will come by itself because there will be someone who will see your childlike heart and want to hire someone like you. Going forward, for the next 5 months, lighting a lamp to Vigneshwaran who dispels troubles morning and night in the house that you live in, pray to him without fail every day. The place that you worship at is not clean. From now on, the most important work for you and your wife is to remove all the unnecessary things from that place, light the lamp morning and evening so that the light pervades around you and your home. Start
Okay.
today.
Go ahead, start today. So here, sorry to interrupt you, but this is again very important. So we'll continue to talk about it. He again now references to another event in this person's life where he says, so you had an opportunity for work, but you let it slip. So it's so from that we infer that the person had been given an opportunity for a job, but he did not take it. But he says, "No, it's okay, even that is for the good, so wait. And within a short while, you will get a job. Someone will see how innocent and childlike you are and will want to hire someone like you. So Appa is already blessing him without even telling him that he's blessing him, that he will get a job. And that happened to a lot of people who came to a house. They would come and tell Gajra Swami, okay, I'm having this offer of a job. What should I do? And he would tell them, even though it was a very high level job, he told one of the persons who approached, oh no, don't take that job. And he didn't say anything more. And that person trusted Gajrat Swamigal and he didn't take the job. However, he came back to tell us later that he now had a job where the person who was going to be his boss in that job offer he got was now reporting to him. So those things happen. So when you approach somebody who's really genuinely connected to God, then you get guidance that is just amazing like this. Then he tells that the person who came, for the next 5 months, light a lamp to Vigneshwaran, who dispels trouble. Now, we've heard in other chapters how Appa says each divine energy has a specific power. And that is very true, because that consciousness of that God has the power to, give you certain things or energy that will help clear issues in your life. It could be somebody who is able to give you, like Vigneshwaran, the energy to dispel troubles. So where he's saying, light the lamp morning and night and pray to him. So what he's trying to do in this is telling the devotee, when you light the lamp morning and night every day for 5 months, you're developing a habit and you're also focusing on that particular divine energy and you're connecting to the consciousness of that energy that will help bring that power to you to dispel your troubles. And that is why we have all these rituals and rites that was given in the Vedas and by predecessors, so that we could develop the habits of concentration and focus and learn to make a mind like a laser to attract that energy to help us. That is all. That is the essence of prayer. You're attracting the energy from a higher being to help your own strength, to make it more stronger. Now, then he says, the place that you worship at is not clean. From now on, the most important work for you and your wife is to remove all the unnecessary things from that place. Light the lamp morning and evening so that the light pervades around you and your home. Start today. Let us now look at each one of us, go back and look at our meditation rooms or our puja rooms. How many unwanted things are there? Appa says declutter, because things carry energy. The more you fill in the puja room, the more different kinds of energy comes, and it kind of counteracts each other. And some of the items may not even be good. They may be carrying bad energy because you don't know where you're getting these things from. So Appa always told anybody who came to him to have a very simple altar, just a few if you want, or if you're even higher than that, just one picture or statue or even just a light. Keep it uncluttered. Don't have anything else that is not related to God or meditation in that room. Remove everything else. It is very important. We need to do that, because for the light to spread, for that energy to become more powerful, we need to make sure that that environment is clean and clear, and that we are not bringing in different types of other energy that will counteract all the efforts we are doing. Now, we have just got a very few minutes, so we're going to stop this chapter and continue next week. Is there anybody there who would like to talk about it, have questions, would like to say something before we close this? Okay. In that case, I will go ahead. Yeah, is there somebody speak?
Yes, sister, I'm Sai Prasad.
Yes.
Thanks for joining this.
Uh-huh.
So this is a great pleasure. So Appa, yeah, given one direction to reach out. So I'm very happy. So I don't have words, and I want to be continue this satsang. I'm feeling happy, sister. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Brother Sai Prasad, because that is what each one of us who has read Valipadu have felt, because Appa's energy flows through those words. These are not just books. Appa's in them. The words are powerful because he has said them. Just like the Vedas or any great religious books, Valipadu is also powerful because it comes from divine perception. It's not from human beings who have thought and done research and written a book. So that's wonderful that you're feeling this, because that is what each one of us here has felt, and so many people who reach out to me have felt. So with that, we're going to close today's satsang. We will meet again next